Hey guys, it's Ted with live broadcast today. So today I thought I would talk about something interesting. I was talking to a contractor, actually a couple guys on Monday, and one of them, not a client, just somebody was talking to an HVAC contractor. And basically it was an interesting conversation because he seemed to have an opinion about how his business was stable or whether it was growing or how it was doing well. But when we looked at it, I was kind of like, the things you're telling me doesn't sound like the lifestyle you would want to have as an owner. So we kind of want to talk about that today. And I was talking to one guy, and we were doing some things to talk about how we can make improvements in this business. And his other friend was overhearing, so his friend didn't really get the conversation we were in. He was, throwing his own 2 cents of advice in. And his advice was things like, well, if you just do this and do this and do this, you'll get real busy. You can keep busy and you can keep busy in the wintertime. And then he was kind of like bragging on, I'm busy all the time. I work 60 hours a week and it's really great. And I was thinking to myself, who wants to work 60 hours a week to make a living? This is ridiculous. Why would you want to do that? Because there seems to be a mistake that a lot of people are making, that somehow having a lot of work to do is the goal. And ultimately, it shouldn't be. When you're in business, there's a couple ways to keep score. The only real way in my book to keep score is how much profitability you actually have, not how much you're working or any of the other metrics that people are thinking. How many trucks you have. I don't care how many trucks you have. I mean, I've seen people that I've worked with that had like 10 trucks. Well, 6 of them are parked half the year. So having a bunch of trucks parked isn't helpful. Or I've seen people that have 10 trucks and somebody with 4 or 5 trucks is kicking their butt on half the revenue, or actually not half the revenue. They're doing almost the same revenue with half the trucks, and they have 5 times the net profit with a whole lot less headache. So let's face it, if you got a company with 10 trucks, there are baggage that comes with that. There's things like, how many employees you're going to have. If you're going to have 10 trucks, you probably have someplace like 15, 18 employees, because you have a couple, 3 or 4 in the office. Then some of the trucks have 2 guys in them because there's some helpers and stuff. And managing, 18 people is a lot harder to manage than, say, 6 people. If you had, like, say, a 4-truck company, right? So if you could make a whole lot more money with 6 people than you could with 18, which would you do? The other part of that is, to keep 18 people busy is a lot more marketing work and a lot more problem to keep ahead of that. So ultimately, when I'm looking at this, like when I look at what I do, my expertise is not just in giving out information, because there's a lot of people like this guy would just have heard what I said. It goes in one ear and out the other, and he doesn't really notice that, that he learned, like, that is real common. Oh, I learned something. Oh, that's great. Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll try that someday. But that's not really the issue. If I look at my expertise, what I really do is I transform businesses. And it really comes from where someone's at, where they're struggling and they could be doing better. And when they're really, really ready to go to that next place where, that next piece where they want to get to, where I want to run this business that runs without me. I want to have smooth operations. I want to get the pricing right. I want to make profitability. I want all those kinds of things happening. That is kind of where I go with things. So having said that, the real question is, how do we move someone like that from where he's at, where he thinks it's really awesome to work 60 hours a week, into not doing that? Well, I don't know that you can. I think if someone has that belief system, there isn't much that I or anyone else can do to change it. Ultimately, it comes down to what someone's ready for, right? When someone's really, really ready to make those shifts and say, you know what, that's it. I can't take it anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. My family's suffering. My business isn't really doing that great, because let's face it, however much money he might have made, let's just pick a nice round number that might even be fairly high, like $100,000. You can make $100,000 being an employee for somebody if you're really good and it's a really good company. You don't have to have all the headaches and do 60 hours a week to do that. So what gets in the way of that? I don't know. Ego, whatever that is, being able to say I'm own a business, but does he really? He owns a job, not a business. And you don't really want to own a job. What's the point of that? Because you're always one step away from bankruptcy doing it that way. As soon as you have a slow month, you're in trouble. Because there was more of the conversation that was kind of like along the lines of, well, he's doing this thing and that thing and that thing to get customers, and it's like, gosh, as soon as that doesn't work once, he's kind of in trouble. The real key to the whole thing is really only 3 things you do in a business. 3 things. Number 1, you attract customers. Number 2, you convert those customers into selling something. And now selling sometimes sounds like a bad word because it brings up, kind of mental images of like, oh, we're going to rip people off or take advantage of them or talk them into stuff they don't need. No. They have to agree to buy something from you somehow. You have to convert them to where they're agreeing that they're going to pay for the repair, they're going to pay for something. But so it's attract, convert, and then deliver. A lot of technicians that go into business are pretty good at the delivery piece because they used to be technicians for another company, and they're usually really good at that delivery part. They can fix the air conditioner, they can install them well, they can do all those things and have some competence there. Usually where they lack is in the attract and convert pieces. And then there's probably one that kind of goes over the whole thing too, how you administrate all of this and kind of keep track of it so that you're running a business that's not, having some things fall through the cracks and stuff, right? Like you're doing accounting and paying the taxes and stuff. So that's kind of the 4th one that over umbrellas it. But it's really 3 things. It's, attract, convert, deliver. So attract. I see a lot of bullshit out there about, well, if you do really good delivery, if you do really good work, then the people will just come from word of mouth. And that's not untrue, but unfortunately, it's not true enough to grow a business consistently when you want to grow it. You can do it very, very slowly. And when you see people who say that, it's usually somebody with a very small operation who, if they grew, they somehow went back down to the small operation because they couldn't crack the code for how to keep busy all the time with paid marketing. So what they do then is they get a belief system in their brain that just says, well, word of mouth is just the way to do it. That's how you do it. And then they somehow make up a story about, well, that's just how you have integrity. Well, you can have integrity no matter how you do it. You can have integrity no matter what your prices are. You can have integrity with all kinds of things, because all integrity really is when you say you're going to do something, that's what you do. That's all it is. So just because, for example, you have a higher price than someone else doesn't mean you're taking advantage of them. The customer knows exactly what they're buying. They know exactly what they're getting. They agree to the price. We're not lying to them in any way. And we say, hey, look, we are more expensive because we do this, and no one else does that. Oh, well then sure, I'll buy it. A steakhouse that charges $50 per dinner does not lack integrity because I can go to a fast food joint down the street and buy dinner for $5. That doesn't mean they lack integrity. I understand what I'm getting in both cases. So that's really part of the big issue of that is we see people who try to fight against this attracting with trying to get marketing or something out there. The other one we get from the marketing side is I get a lot of people who they try marketing, but they're not ready for it. Mostly because they don't have their convert system in place. And here's an example of that. If I sent you 10 leads and you only closed 2 or 3 of those leads because your converting system wasn't down really well, you didn't have a good sales system in place that was a process, meaning a lot of companies are just kind of winging it. If you're just winging it every day, then that can be a problem. So ultimately, you got to get those things fixed. So we always start with the numbers. We always start with what's your profitability, how's your pricing set, what's your conversion rates, and all that, and how you get those systems in place. Then we do marketing. So ultimately, that's how it works. But those are the 3 things your business needs: attract, convert, deliver. The delivery part, there's ways to streamline that as well. No matter how good of a technician you are, once you start hiring employees, you have to come put systems in place so that you can get some consistency through your company. One of the largest complaints I hear from owners that are growing once they get above a couple of trucks is usually, I can't find guys who can do the work consistently well. Well, that's a training issue, and that's a problem because the good companies have figured that out. And when I say good, I mean growing, thriving. I'm not talking about quality. We're talking about good businesses. The better businesses that are thriving and don't have that complaint, it's because they figured out how to attract good quality team members, and then empower those people to do work the way they want it done. So, how do you take a guy who comes out of school and within a year you've got him where he can run calls and do installs on his own and everything? If you're relying on trying to find only experienced people, that is a problem. The best companies do build their own over time, and they think the long game. So kind of the issues for the day. If you'd like to kind of talk about this a little bit, I'd be happy to talk with you. Bottom line, though, is when you get back to the attracting part, attract, convert, deliver. The best way to do it, in my opinion right now, is Facebook. Facebook marketing works really well, but it's not a catch-all. It's not as simple as placing the ad. There's a lot of moving parts inside a good Facebook marketing funnel. You have to have inside the funnel a conversion process. Once they click the ad, it has to land someplace, and they have to be able to take the next step and the next step, and then it might take a few steps before they're buying something and converting into a paying customer. But you have to have that process in place before you run the ad. The way I look at a Facebook ad is, if the marketing funnel itself is a complete system, like an air conditioning system, the ad is the thermostat. That's the place where people interface with it, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on that makes it work, right? And when you install it, you pretty much install and program the thermostat and turn it on as the kind of the last thing you do. You have to install the whole rest of it first, or else you're frustrated, because you could be, think about it, if you installed an air conditioner and put the thermostat on the wall first and hit run and hit go and set the temperature, you'd be like scratching your head, well, how come it's not blowing out cold yet? Well, because you didn't build the rest of it yet. So you're a lot better off to kind of build it backwards and start with all the moving parts that are in the behind the scenes, have them all ready to go, and then you finally launch the ad. So that's the best piece of marketing advice I can give you on that piece. The other piece is, most of the ads I see have no offer. The offer they have is, I'm going to get my name out there, and basically what that says is, here's my name, I hope you call me someday. Well, that's just silly. It doesn't work very well, and it's just not effective. They have no offer. They have really bad ad copy that's talking about 90% about what they do and how awesome they are, and this is our process, and we're so cool, and we're the greatest thing ever. People just don't care about that. You need to talk to people in a way that is, here's the problem they have, here's why this problem sucks, and then at the very last moment, you can talk about, if you want to solve this problem that sucks, then we'll help you. That works way, way, way better. So kind of the quick, Facebook Live video thing of the day. So if you wanted to talk to me, I'm going to put this on screen here. And type it right. We put that up on screen. tedgravlin.com/booking. I do consultations with people. I usually have a few slots open every week that I can talk to people one-on-one about whatever challenges you're having, and we can work through what those are, where you're at, where you want to go, and whether or not we can figure out how to build you a plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. Again, I'm a transformation expert, and the trick to that is not just to show people things, but it's actually to get you to do something different. I always look at it like it's a personal trainer. If you're trying to lose 50 pounds because you're overweight, you can read a diet book and digest the book and go, oh, well, that's nice, I learned something. But you're still eating donuts and sitting on the couch and watching TV and not jogging and not doing any workouts or anything like that. When you work with a good personal trainer, it's like, oh no, I've made a commitment to myself that says I'm not doing those things anymore, and this person's going to make sure that I actually follow through and actually get results, because I told him I would meet him at the gym, so I guess I have to go now, right? So that's kind of how it works with that part. So that's a very large part of what I'm doing, is some mindset shifting, and that along with the information. So the information needs to be laid out in a specific order, and then, get you to actually take actions on each piece as it comes, so that you're not just digesting it and thinking about it and, mulling it over and gonna get to it someday or whatever. It's no, we're going to get to it this week, and we're going to do it right away, and we're going to make some changes, and it happens very, very, very quickly. So anyway, if you want to talk, we can do that. Just go to tedgravlin.com/booking, and we'll talk soon.